Hey, what's up, guys? So, we are in the seventh episode of the live coding series, and today we are going to continue building the live chat application where we left off in the last episode. So, that's what we are going to do. So, if you remember, correctly, what we did last episode was that we actually built out a two-way connection with the Twitch streaming application. We were able to send messages to Twitch, and we were able to receive messages from Twitch. And today what we are going to do is we are going to try to do the same for YouTube as well. And not just that, we will see if we can actually optimize our code a bit and do a bit more as we go along. So without any delays, so let me quickly get on to the session. But as I already told you, this is going to be an interactive session. So in case you have any questions, doubts, suggestions, comments, feedback, whatever it may be, just throw it down in the chat and I will reply then and there. So with that, let's get started. So I am showing you my screen now. I hope you are able to see it. And okay, I have this push notification. Anyways, so I have this screen. So let me open up the menu panel so that I can make this a bit full screen for you. Okay, so here we go. This is the chat application where we left off last time. I did a bit of change in the last 5 minutes. I have not done anything predominant, but anyways, so let's quickly test it out on where we were before. So I am quickly opening up my Twitch and I have my VS Code running here, where I have already opened up the application where I was coding last time. I did a small change here. I am not sure if it will work. I have not tested it out. Anyway, so what we are going to do is, first I am going to start my server. So a server and plugins. So I have my Twitch plugin and I have my YouTube plugin here. So what I am going to do is I am quickly going to start my YouTube Twitch plugin so that we can actually test whether our application is working to the extent we have done so far. So I did npm run start dev. I hope it's visible. So we have started the Twitch plugin, and if as you notice here, the Twitch has successfully connected to the IRC. Let me do one thing. Let me open up the chat as well so that I can actually see if you have any doubts. Anyways, let me close this Notion calendar. Okay, so here we are with the Twitch plugin, and let me refresh the user interface since we actually connected to Twitch, and let's see whether it is working. I am running this in a VM, so it's a bit slow, but otherwise it should be fine. So I am sending hello world, before which I have my Twitch stream running here. So I send hello world and it says I typed hello world, and I hopefully should get the message hello world here. Okay, I am not getting it, which means that whatever changes I did is not working. So let me roll it back. I will probably make the change sometime later. God, this is very slow. So I did not make any predominant changes, so let me undo it so that we can start from a clean state. For some reason my system gets hung. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. So it's because I am running this in a VM that issues like this keep cropping up again and again. Okay, we have our application back again. Finally. So this is the application I have. So I have basically rolled back all the changes which I made. So if you notice, this is what I had built last time, where I had two endpoints, chat and send to client, and I used these two endpoints to basically send messages to Twitch, and this chat endpoint to basically receive messages from Twitch and process. So let's see whether the server is running properly. Okay, the server is listening in 8085 again. So let's refresh it. Okay, now things are good. I'll quickly collapse this a bit. Okay, So we have our Twitch stream here, we have a YouTube stream here, and I press send, and I should hopefully send a message to Twitch. Yes, there we go. So this is where we left off in the last episode, and we are going to continue from there now. So what I'm going to do now is okay, first before I do anything, let me quickly explain what I'm going to do. First important thing to note is that we have already worked through Twitch. We are able to already add Twitch to our application. Now the next focus on our site should be adding YouTube as a plugin. So let's quickly open up the Medium blog, which says the same thing. If you remember in the first or second episode, we actually opened up a Medium blog which explained how do you go about sending messages to YouTube and receiving messages from YouTube. So I'm opening up the blog, Medium YouTube live chat API. So this was the blog which we followed for actually implementing the YouTube chat before. I mean, trying out the YouTube chat before. Now we are going to actually implement the same using the code. Like, we are going to try to send messages to YouTube and receive messages from YouTube in our chat application. That's what we are going to do. So if you remember, this is what we do. First, step to do is we have to open up the YouTube live dashboard. I'm going to quickly open up YouTube live chat API. So this was the live chat API which we used before to get the messages from YouTube and send messages to YouTube. For instance, let me quickly click on try it now. So what list should do is it should be able to list all the broadcast in my stream. So this is my live chat ID, and this is this is not live chat ID. This is the part. So but before I do that, let me quickly open this up. So I have this first step I have to do before I even do anything is, before I do live chat, is that I have to get the ID of my broadcast. So for getting the ID of my broadcast, I have to pass in parameters to YouTube like this. Part is snippet, broadcast type is all, and mine is true, which means that I am going to get all my broadcasts. That's what I am saying to YouTube. So I am giving part as snippet, and broadcast type, if you see, that's all, and you have mine as true. So this is what we did to basically get all the broadcasts from YouTube. So let's quickly execute. Okay, let's click on execute here, and it's asking me to authenticate myself, because it has to retrieve the token so that it can do the API call to YouTube. So I finished the authentication. Now what it does is basically it went to YouTube and retrieved all my broadcast from YouTube. So that's what it did. So if I have to show you this, so I open up quickly JSON lint, and what I do is I paste this JSON here. So this is the JSON which I received here. So if you notice, it has lot of items, and each item has a lot of descriptions. Like if you notice, this is the thumbnail of the live coding session part 12 from Timecampus. So if I just quickly open this up, you will see the thumbnail. So this is the thumbnail of the YouTube stream, which is scheduled in the future. This is not this current YouTube stream. The current YouTube stream is not episode number 12. I guess it is episode number 7. So you will see it somewhere. I don't know where it will be. So let's see. 07. Nope. S01E07. What is the name of the stream? I don't remember the name of the stream. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's actually go to YouTube and see what the name of this current stream is, so that we will actually know what to search for. So it's called live coding never stop from Timecampus S01E07. So that's what we are going to find here. So E07. Why is it not found? Let me paste it in VS Code and try it from there. Okay, it's not able to list it because there is a pagination limit on how much YouTube can actually return in a single request. So what I have to do is I have to move to the next page or move to some other page for that matter. So how do I actually get the page? So let's say that I want 100 results and I execute the same code. So and I got the response. I'm pasting it again. Yeah, okay, this is entrepreneur. So yeah, here we go. So this is today's episode, live coding never stop from Timecampus S01E07. So that's today's session, and if you notice, there are multiple thumbnails like this, and against this respective JSON payload we have a live chat ID, and this is the live chat ID which we are going to use to basically converse with YouTube. So that's what we are going to use. So let's quickly do that. So if you notice, we got the live chat ID by doing this. So first is finding our live broadcast, which we actually found. We got the payload. Second is reading the chat messages from that broadcast. So we got the live chat ID. Now we have to actually read the chat messages. So if we actually go to this endpoint, live chat messages, and we put in this live chat ID, and our part is nothing but snippet, the same thing which we used before. So and if you put this and click on execute and finish our authentication, we will actually do this through code, don't worry. This is just to give you an idea on how it actually goes. So okay, let me do one thing before I copy that. Let me save this here, or okay, let me do that in VS Code, not here. So this was my broadcast list, and I have my live chat messages which I just retrieved. I'm pasting that as well in VS Code. So this is a JSON payload. Okay, here we go. So what we got is information regarding this respective messages in this respective broadcast. So if you see, I sent a message called hello, so that message has been displayed here. So this is the API we should call to actually read the messages. So this is the first API to be called. The first API was this, getting the list of broadcasts. Again, let me make this as JSON. So this is the first API to be called to get the list of broadcasts. Then we identified the broadcast. Then we have to retrieve the list of chat messages. So this is the list of chat messages from the broadcast, and the next step would be actually sending messages to the broadcast. So we got the chat messages. Now inserting chat messages would be the next next step, which is executed through this endpoint. So if you notice here, again they are asking for part is again snippet. There is a set of request body here. If you notice, they have given what the request body should look like. So let me copy this, and let me do one thing. Let me replace this with this. So this is a JSON, so I should replace. Okay, let me put it in VS Code, replace it, and then bring it here. So I should make this a JSON, valid JSON. So I add the quotes wherever relevant. So whatever you are seeing now through the UI, we will do it actually through our code. So that's what we will do next. So we have our request body, but if you notice, we have not replaced our live chat ID, our yeah, we are going to send a text message, so this is valid. So we have to replace this with the live chat ID of our stream. So our live chat ID is nothing but this, so we have to copy that and we have to paste it here. And if I click on execute now, so I have a message text called hello world, so that will actually get posted in my YouTube chat. So let's try it out. So I did execute, and if you notice, yep, my YouTube got hello world, which is actually getting displayed in my chat box as well. So let's quickly check it. So what we actually did now is we will actually get retrieved the message from YouTube. We sent message to YouTube. So that's what we did now. So if you see here, we are able to see a message called hello world in the YouTube channel. So now we have 3 endpoints to call. So one is for listing the broadcast, another is for reading the messages of the broadcast, and another is for sending messages of the broadcast. So let's make it simple now. Let's start with let's come back to our index.html page, and to start with, let's hard code the live chat ID or the stream ID inside our JavaScript. For now, we will change it later. So when we get time, we will probably change it. So our live chat ID, our live chat ID is nothing but this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back to our index.html page. Now since I have to do it all through script, so I am going to paste it here, somewhere here. Okay, let me not do this in the client. Let me leave the client as is. So I am not touching the client now. Sorry, I should not be touching the client. I should rather be touching only the plugin, because I am, as we discussed, so what we are doing is we are making a YouTube plugin. So we are supposed to touch only the YouTube plugin. So let's do one thing. First of all, let's start the YouTube plugin before we do anything else. CD plugins. We have YouTube. So I'm starting the YouTube plugin here and it's running. So it's taking some time to build, and yeah, here we go. So the YouTube plugin has started in 8090. Now what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to do all the logic which we did in the Twitch plugin, similarly in the YouTube plugin as well. So let me go to the API server controller. Let's test whether it is working. First of all, the plugin is working. Localhost 8090, and we have hi there. Is the camera? Oh, I'm sorry. So I didn't realize that the camera was off. Let me just quickly fix it. Oops. Oops. Sad life. Okay, there we go. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it was a bug. I hope you are able to see it now. Anyways, so let's continue where we left off before. So what we are going to do is we are actually going to make some modifications to our respective YouTube plugin. So let's do that. First step to that would be that we are going to open up our Twitch plugin, and we are actually going to see what we did in our Twitch plugin. What routes did we actually add in Twitch, so that we can do something similar in YouTube. If you notice the Twitch plugin, we just have one endpoint called post to Twitch, so that if you basically call the API endpoint, it will basically post a message to Twitch. So what I am going to do now is I am going to copy this endpoint. I am going to reuse the same thing for YouTube as well. I am coming to routes, and I am commenting out my hello endpoint, which I have in my boilerplate. So what I am doing is, I don't need all of these. I'm just commenting this out. I don't need this also. So what I need is an endpoint called post to YouTube, because I want to send message to YouTube. So I have post to YouTube, and I have a function called YouTube. So this is what we are going to define. So let me comment this as well. So I am going to create a file called I am going to use the API server controller or chat server controller for that matter. What did I use in Twitch? I will use the similar controller here. I guess I used API server controller. Okay, I'll use the same API server controller in YouTube as well, so that I can make it a bit consistent as much as possible. So I'm going to define my function inside that. So I have my API server controller, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this function called this to post to YouTube, and what I'm going to do is post a chat message to YouTube. So this is what I am going to do. I am going to send a message to YouTube. So let's do that. But one thing, as I told you already, is that I am going to hard code the live chat ID for now. We will we will later look at retrieving the live chat ID, so that we will make at least something simple. We will have a basic working thing. Then we can increment it from there. So I am going to have something like this. I'm going to hard code like this. So then what I'm going to do now is, so if you notice, so since we already got the live chat ID, we need not get the list of broadcasts. So let me add a to do here. Get the list of broadcasts later. Get the live chat ID from the list of broadcast later. So we are hard coding the live chat ID, and what we need to do is we need to call the second API to actually read all the messages, and third API to actually post messages. Since we are defining the post endpoint now, let's quickly copy this payload, or let me do one thing. So hi Arun, long time, how are you? So I have this endpoint where I list all the broadcasts, and I have this endpoint where I insert or I post all the messages to YouTube API. So this is what I am going to use. I am going to copy this curl request, and I am going to replace this with an Axios call. So that's what I am going to do. So I have this curl request. So if you see here, so what I have is I have a URL, I have a header with a token, I have I have a JSON type which I am passing, and I have a JSON payload which you see here, which is what is going to be the message which I post to my stream. So what I am going to do is I am going to use Axios to basically make the same call. So let me import Axios. So if you go to Twitch, what we did was we made a similar Axios call for Twitch as well, I guess. No, for Twitch what we did was we made a call to the Twitch messaging interface library. So let's do an Axios call in this case. So I need to do a post request because that's the endpoint which I actually defined. Sorry, that's the endpoint. Post is what YouTube actually requests, so I need to do a post request. So if you see here, the request method is post, so I have to do a post as well. So let's rewrite this curl request as an Axios request. So we have to call this endpoint. This is the endpoint to be called. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, put it within my Axios, and here it is asking for my API key. So my API key is something which I get when I actually authenticate with YouTube. So let's see if I actually get the API key. I'm not sure whether it will actually show me the API key. Okay, it's showing show code. So is it actually showing me API key? I don't think it is showing me the API key. Okay, let's do one thing. What I want to do is, I need to basically authenticate or add this as a scope to Google. I need to be a part of Google developers and get the API key. That's the best way to go about this. So what I'm going to do is, so Google developers, developer console. I am going to my Google developer console. So I hope they have given for YouTube live stream here. So let's see if they have given. Okay, here we go. So we need to enable APIs and services. Okay, and not in Timecampus Dev Core. I want to create I want to use this TC Streambox project. So I need to enable APIs and services here, and I want to enable YouTube live stream API. So yep, this is what we want, I guess. I'm not sure, so let's try it. Google Play, YouTube, place a meaning role, YouTube data such as videos, playlists and channels. So I have to enable this API so that I actually can get an API key once I enable this. So it's getting enabled. While it's getting enabled, so let's actually see how do we get the YouTube API key. So YouTube data API overview, like as we went to console, we enabled the API, we enabled the YouTube data API. If your application will use any that require user authentication, read the authentication guide, how to implement, select a client library. So right now we are using a server, we are not doing a client side authentication, we are doing a server side authentication. So if you are doing a client side authentication, API key would not be recommended, because anyone can actually use the same API key and do any malicious activity. But since we are doing a server to server communication, API key is fine. So don't worry, I will actually disable this API key after the stream. So this is a temporary API key which I am generating, so not a big deal. So I go to create credentials, I click on API key, and it's creating an API key for me which I can use to actually run all the requests which against the YouTube API. So don't worry, so it's a temporary API key. So I have this API key here, and what I am going to do is, so I am going to use this variable to store the API key. Never ever show your API key to others. I am doing this because I have nothing to lose here. But you should not be doing this. I will be revoking this API key after the stream. So if you are someone who who wants your data to be safe, don't ever share your API key with anyone else ever. Sorry, I modified the curl request, rather I should be modifying the Axios request. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me add a template string so that will make my job easier. So I have the API key variable which I am using, and I have the access token. I mean, I don't have the access token, so I need to get the access token So I'm not sure how do you get the access token. Let's see, because I'm not sure what authentication scheme YouTube is using, but anyways, not a big deal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Axios and I'm going to see how to pass headers. Come on, I accept. Okay, this is turning out to be difficult. Yeah, there we go. So what we have to do is we have to specify the method as post, and then we have a header object like this. So this is how we specify the headers in Axios. So which means I have to change this a bit. So let me just copy this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing which they are doing. I'm going to take this and I'm going to paste it here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this URL from here and I'm going to give this URL here. Okay, they are given a URL variable, so let me put a URL variable and put it there. So I have specified the URL to call, I specified the method. Now I have to also specify the data. So I am going to copy the data from my curl request. So this is a stringified data, if you notice. So we have to actually get an object from this. So to make it simple, what I am going to do is I am opening up my developer console. So what I am going to do is I am going to assign this to a variable where test equal to this. And okay, looks like okay, we can use this itself. Let me go to JSON lint, validate it. Okay, it's a valid JSON. So I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to use that as my payload or data. There is a difference between JavaScript object and a JSON string, so you should be careful what you are using. So I have my live chat ID here, so let me just replace this with a variable so that it's consistent. So live chat ID, and I have the message. So I am getting the message from the chat box. So what I need to do is I need to get the message from there and use it. So let me see what I did in Twitch. Let me use the same way. So in Twitch, when I was posting, I got the payload in request.body and I got my message in payload.message. So that's the same thing which I am going to do with YouTube as well. So I am going to retrieve my message request.body and I have my chat message payload.message. So I am going to basically put the same thing here. So I have my chat message here. So now we have the live chat ID, we have what we want to send, and we have the message event. One thing we don't have is the access token, if I remember right. So one more thing which we need is the headers. We have not specified the headers, so we need to specify that as well. So okay, this is interesting. So they are expecting a stringified form of data. So anyways, so we have given it. So what we need to pass is, are they expecting a stringified form of data? No. So I should pass it as data itself. So I need to pass the headers. So if you see, I have multiple headers here: content type, accept, authorization. What I am going to do is I am going to pass it all here. So it's not since I copied, it came as URL encoded, but I should rather use authorization, bearer, and your access token. Access token we will get if we authenticate with our API key. So let's see how to get the access token. That's also one important thing which we are yet to do. Okay, it's already 9:36. Interesting. we don't have much time to basically do everything, but let's see. So we have accept, and we have time flies, man. Time really flies. So we have accept application JSON, and we should also have a content type as application JSON. So let's add the content type as well. Okay, we have authorization, we have accept, we have content type. So, and we have the data. One important thing which we don't have is the authorization token, access token. So let's see how do we actually let me comment this out. How do we actually get the access token? So I am quickly going to the documentation again. Yeah, here we go. So this is where they were mentioning everything. So let's see how to get access token. How do they get the token, man? Is it needed when I do API call? So I still need an access token. So let's say that I don't have what, I just have an API key. Do I still need an access token? It is not supposed to ask me for access token if I have the API key. Access token is needed only when you don't have an API key. If I have it, I should not be actually giving the access token. Let me just comment it out and see if it works. So let's do one thing. So we have this request. Let's make this request in Postman and see whether it actually works. So I am opening up my Postman before we actually wrap our head in this and get confused on whether it works or not. It's better to actually test it out with Postman. So I have my method as post. I have this and key equal to the API key which I have here, and I have my body raw. I have it as application JSON. So and I have the URL which I give and data which I have to pass, and yeah, pretty much it. And I have to pass some headers as well. I hope this is a valid JSON. Okay, we have to pass the live chat ID. So our live chat ID is this. So and we are passing a message. This is a Postman message. So we have our headers. Why is headers not populated with anything? It says 9 headers, but it is not populated with anything. Okay, 9 hidden. Okay, this is interesting. Why is it hiding all these requests? Okay, it's accepting anything. So let's see whether it works. It says I am unauthenticated. It says that I am missing an OAuth 2 access token, which means that API key alone is not enough. I also need an access token. So what I am going to do is I am going to go back to my OAuth dashboard and I will see if I can get access token from there. So what is the use of curl? Why do we use that? Just think of curl as an alternative to Postman. So Postman as a user interface, curl is very much powerful than Postman. You can do the same thing which Postman does all in your terminal. So you can make API requests and everything. So that's the use of curl. So I need to see Google get access token. I can't get access token from API key. I need to basically authenticate a OAuth to get the access token. There are ways to get the access token easily, but I mean not easily. There are ways to get the access token, but it requires the implementation of OAuth. That's why I am a bit concerned, and it will take a bit of time to do it. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's see if we can get the access token online somewhere. So get access token online. Yeah, this is exactly what we needed. OAuth through playground. So what we needed was we need to authorize the YouTube API. So where is the YouTube API? Yeah, here it is, YouTube data API v3. So this is what we need. So this is our playground. For now, let me just add all of these. So I'm going to authorize these. I'm going to actually, to be honest, if you are to implement this in your code, you have to do all of this in your code. You have to import the Google SDK and do all of this. So yes, so exchange this authorization code for tokens. So I'm exchanging it and I will get an access token here. So you are supposed to get this in code. Wait, did I actually get the right access token? Refresh access token. Okay, now I have my access token. What I need to do is I need to add it as an authorization. So let's see whether we are able to use it. Authorization, come on man, bearer. Then we add the access token as well, and now we click on send. It says invalid argument. The API key and authentication credentials are different projects, are from different projects. Okay, this is interesting. So do I even need an API key first of all? Interesting. So I don't need an API key. So all I need was an access token. So it's accepting just OAuth. So either OAuth or API key authentication. So hopefully this should have sent. Why? What did we actually do? We sent a message, right? So this is supposed to go to the YouTube chat. Okay, which means that we probably have given the wrong live chat ID. Let's confirm that as well. Yes, this is a wrong live chat ID. So this is our live chat ID, and what we are going to do is I'm going to paste it in Postman, and now I click on send. Now I should be getting that in the stream. Yay, we got the API call. So now what we are going to do is we are going to actually copy the same thing and do it in the code. So API server controller, we have the endpoint. We have the API key now. Okay, API key is not needed since it's able to access, use just the access token. Actually, you should not hardcode access token like this. I'm just doing this to test it out. Later, we will do the OAuth flow as well. So we will connect the accounts. We will do OAuth flow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the access token from Postman. So I got the access token here. Where is that? So the difference between access token and refresh token is that refresh token is long lived and access token is short lived. So refresh token will take some time to expire, but for this access token, I guess its validity is 3600 seconds or something like that. So if I don't use it within that time, it will expire. So okay, let me comment out this. I don't need this. I don't need this curl request as well because I have already done the postman request and I know what it is. All I need is I need this access token, I need this URL. I don't need the API key, so I am removing the API key from here. I need to add the authorization header or the token to this. So what I am going to do is I am going to add a template string. So we have the data. So yeah, there we go. So let me just respond back saying that message sent. So this is what I'm responding back with, and we have an API endpoint which we can use now. So we have the live chat ID, we have the endpoint which we are calling, and we have the payload which we are sending. So all we have to do now is we have to just call this endpoint. Let's test out this endpoint to see whether it actually works. So we have localhost, post method, JSON payload. My YouTube plugin is running in localhost 8090. So let me do one thing, let me just change this. So and its name is post to YouTube, and the payload which I am supposed to pass to that is I need to give a body and I need to pass a message inside the payload. I need to pass a payload equal to request.body payload.message. So this is what I need to do. I have something called as message here. So this is my message. Is it running in 8090? Okay, it says more than one blank line not allowed. So in line number 51, so that's why it's failing, but that's fine. Okay, now it says in 11, line number 11, more than one blank line not allowed. Where is the blank line here? Okay, in API server routes, line number 11. So let's remove the blank line here. Okay, now what's the error? All of this is fine. Unexpected trailing comma, command angle. Oh man, where is it coming from? This is all in a single file, I guess. Okay, it's an API server controller. So let's quickly go to API server controller. I guess we have made a lot of mistakes. So let's do one thing. So 16202 16. Okay, it's linting this as well. So let me do one thing. Let me disable the lint for now because we are already over time. So we don't want ESLint to take up time. I'm disabling ESLint. Starting it again. Okay, there we go. And now what I want to do is I want to send a message here, and it says message sent, and I should be getting the message. If I don't, then there is something wrong. Okay, it says there is an error. What is error? Okay, it says it's unauthorized, probably because the access token might have probably expired. So I need to get the refresh, get the new access token. I'm copying it. So as I told you, there is a short period of time in which the access token actually lives. So beyond that, you cannot actually use it. So I have this. Now if I click on send, I hope it should work. Fingers crossed. Come on. Tell me it works. Please tell me it works. Okay, it's not working, I guess. Let's find out why it's not working. So the error it says here is unauthorized. So if it is unauthorized, the only thing we have is the access token here. So it's bearer and access token. So and this is the new access token which I actually gave. So let's do one thing. Let's refresh it again and copy the new one, paste it here, save it. So this is the access token which I am actually passing to the API call. Hopefully things should work now. Let me just clear this terminal so that we don't have any previous messages. Okay. Again it says unauthorized. Why is it unauthorized? So we have given the right JSON method. So is this working? So let's do one thing. Let's test the same access token through Postman and see whether that is authorized. If that is authorized, then probably this should work as well. Or we might have done some mistake. So it is working. I hope it is working. We should be able to see the message in Postman. Okay, we are getting the message in Postman. It is not working in VS Code. Let's actually compare what they look like. Okay, so by using Postman, we are directly hitting the YouTube server. But when we are using this, what we are doing is we are hitting the server and our server is hitting YouTube. So we need to actually make sure that we are doing everything right. So let's compare this request. I am just taking this code. I'm taking this curl, copying this, and I'm going to paste it here. So this is the curl which we need to hit using Axios. Let's actually see whether we are actually doing it right. So question mark part equal to snippet, so that's right. So we are actually sending a post message, and we are we sending the headers properly? So we have the options, Axios of options, method is post, we are sending the right URL, we have the JSON properly. Do we have the right JSON? Okay, I guess that we messed up the live chat ID, so that might be the issue. So we have given a wrong live chat ID, so probably that's the issue. Okay, now we fix the live chat ID and let's see whether that works. Okay, so now we have given the right live chat ID and let's send again. And I think it must be working now. Nope. Okay, so then we have the right token, we have the right live chat ID, we have the message details. What else did we miss? So let's do one thing. Let's log the request which we are actually making, so that we can actually figure out what mistake we have done. So, and one more thing which I am going to do is, I am going to I'm going to comment out this error for now. I'm just going to say error, so that it doesn't fill up my console. Okay, it will say error variable not used probably. Okay, it didn't say. So now I am going to hit the endpoint again. So it came to the error block. So I am, if you notice here, we are having two bearers in authorization. So I should be having only one bearer. We have two bearers, so that's the reason for the error. That's because we have the access token, and we are also adding one more bearer when we are actually giving the token in the header. So we have two tokens, two bearers. So that's why there is an error. Now it will work. Perfect. Now it worked. Yep, figured it out. So yes, finally we have the chat working. So we have to just integrate with the UI, but we are already over time. We will probably do that in the next session. So we are able to hit the YouTube API or our API to connect to YouTube and post the message, and we are able to receive the message from YouTube as well. We will actually add that as well to the code in the next episode. So until then, bye bye, see you, and good luck. So if you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, let me know, and we will respond then and there.